My name, Bobby Maximus, and I am here to teach you how to train like a SEAL. Now, am I a SEAL? No. Was I a SEAL? No. But I know something about training SEALs. I've trained a bunch of Navy SEALs. In fact, in my career, I've had the honor, the privilege, and it really is a privilege and an honor to work with numerous Tier 1 assets and numerous military operators, special forces, soldiers in the United States military. I've worked with SEALs, I've worked with Delta, I've worked with Asymmetric Warfare Group, I've worked with a bunch of Rangers, I've worked with Orange. I have an extensive resume working with the military. So if there's anyone to teach you to train like a SEAL, it's this guy right here. But I've also done a bunch of other stuff. I fought in the UFC, I won in the UFC, I won Submission of the Night in the UFC. I'm the oldest competitor all time in the Ultimate Fighter reality series. I also appeared on season 2, by the way. I've trained a bunch of people in the NBA, the NFL, Olympians. I know what it takes to build a championship body, to build a performance machine. So with that in mind, let's get started. So generally, for a Bobby Maximus workout, there's 3 components, right? We want to feel good. We want to be injury-free. We want to be leaping out of bed in the morning. And chances are, if you're watching this, you're not a Navy SEAL. You're not stepping in the octagon to fight either. You're probably a normal guy that just wants to live a better life, or a normal girl that wants to live a better life. And so we want to feel good. We want to be injury-free. Number 2, we want to look good. And stop with your nonsense. I know you say it's not about looks. It is about looks. Everybody wants to look good. Everyone wants to peel off their shirt and have people clap and stare. So there's a look good component. And finally, there's a performance component, right? I want you to have real world horsepower. I don't want you to be all show and no go, all fluff and no buff. You've got to have some real world horsepower. You've got to have some go juice. So there is a performance component, if you will, and especially when it comes to training like a SEAL. Because here's the reality. For some military operators, in fact, for most of them, fitness can be a life or death issue. Like, it's not just about looks. It's something that you really, really need if you want to come home safe. So performance in this workout is paramount. In fact, in this workout, we're going to forget about all the other stuff. We are performance only. You've seen me demonstrate deadlifts. You've seen me demonstrate back squats, bench press, standard strength activities. But one of the most functional strength activities you will ever do is the Turkish getup. It works every single muscle, head to toe. And getting off your back, being knocked down and getting back up to your feet is a fundamental skill in life. So today we're going to do the Turkish getup. I've got a kettlebell right now, but we're going to demonstrate this a couple of different ways. We'll do a kettlebell, a barbell, and what I like to do with the Turkish getup, there's no set rep or set structure. I'm not doing 5 sets of 3 or 5 sets of 5 or 4 sets of 4. I'm just going to work up to a really heavy Turkish getup and then call it a day. Trust me, it will be enough work. So I'm going to get down. I've got my kettlebell. I'm going to raise my hand into the air. I want it to be straight from my wrist all the way to my shoulder. Knee's going to be up. Then to my elbow. Post up on my hand. I'm going to push my foot through the ground and my hand. Bring my knee back. Go up into the lunge position. And then stand up. To get down, the same way I got back up. Lunge. Connect the hand to the ground. I'm going to kick the leg through. Back to the elbow. And back down. One thing with the Turkish getup. What you do with the right, you got to do with the left. So you got to do it on each arm for the movement to count. And again, we started with a light kettlebell. Started with a 36. I'll grab a heavier kettlebell, maybe a heavier kettlebell, maybe work to a barbell, and then I'll call it a day and then move on with the rest of the workout. Okay, so with the Turkish getup, I talked about using different things. We used a kettlebell. One of my favorite things to do is to do it with a barbell because you got to balance it. It adds a balance component. So we're going to do a Turkish getup with a barbell. And I'm a big believer in do this with all kinds of different weights. Kettlebell, dumbbell, barbell, a sandbag, whatever you can find, make it different. There will be a good training effect. I'm feeling pretty good today. I said let's work to a heavy Turkish getup, and I meant heavy 135 pounds. I've done this before. I've also done it with people. So let's see what the old man has in his hand. That was heavy. All right, there we go. The heavy Turkish getup is out of the way. And that got heavy. I'm not gonna lie. I was all over the place. I gotta put this in as a PSA. You're probably better off not to try that at home. Unless you have like real ninja skills like me and you can dodge out of the way. So let's leave that there. But now we're on to the next portion of the workout. And here's the deal. When you're a SEAL, you're a Delta, you're a Ranger, when you're downrange, when you're overseas, you might not have access to gear. It's a real problem. Guys just don't have dumbbells and barbells and stuff floating around all the time. And so a big part of the military seminars that I teach are training without gear. Today we're gonna do one of my favorite no gear workouts. It's called 200 in 20. It's a 20-minute workout that will kick your ass. All right. 220. Like I said, it's one of my favorite no gear workouts of all time. It takes 20 minutes. You're gonna set a stopwatch. You're gonna start it every minute on the minute. You're gonna do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats. By the end of the workout, if you do this right, you will have accumulated 200 push-ups, 200 squats, and 200 sit-ups. An incredible amount of volume. But what a great way to work out with no gear. And if you're time restricted, the two most common excuses people have, I don't have gear, I don't have time, this will solve both your problems. So there's three movements we talked about. Push-up. Push-up, I want proper form. Your hands roughly shoulder width apart. Down to the floor, chest touches the floor. And then back up to full extension. 10 reps, remember, every minute on the minute. The sit-up. Some people anchor their feet. You can or not, I don't really care. I don't because I don't need it, but it's just the classic sit-up. Really underrated movement, great for ab development. Now for the squat. The squat is one of the most cheated exercises in the world, and it drives me crazy. All I'm asking them for is full range of motion. Squat down to just below parallel where your hips crease. Stand all the way back up till everything locks out, and that is a squat. So that's the workout 220. Again, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups. Every minute on the minute. If you see Imam, that's what it counts for 20 minutes. And what you end up with is 200 reps of each. So again, one of the best body weight exercises, workouts that you will ever do. You don't need equipment for, and it doesn't take a lot of time. No equipment, no time, no problem. So that's how you train like a SEAL. This is one of the most functional workouts that I do. We started off with some Turkish getup style work. You start with a lightweight, you get to a heavyweight, push your limits a little bit, but like I said, be careful. Having a weight overhead can be kind of dangerous, if I'm honest with you. Then we got into the meat and potatoes of the workout. We did a famous Maximus workout. It was featured in my best-selling men's health book, Maximus Body, called 220. 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats every minute on the minute for 20 minutes, 200 reps of each. A great way to do away with the excuses of no time and no equipment. And listen, if you're a military operator, this work does really matter, because it's the type of work that it's not about looking good. It's not even about feeling good. Honestly, it's just about performing at the highest level in the world. And that's how you train like a SEAL. Elite operators. Listen, you like this content? Subscribe, get your notifications turned on, like it, comment, and I'll see you again for another Bobby Maximus workout. All right, I'm not gonna lie. That last rep, I'm not happy with it. It was ugly. It's the first time in forever I have done one. So we're gonna do it again, and we're gonna make it prettier. Much better. Practice makes perfect.